Hey guys, you're very welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Lads, look, I haven't seen you in ages. How's it going?
Haven't seen you in years.
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 Do a preview show. So from the other night, we were discussing the two semi-finals and the winners of both of those. Waterford played Galway, and the surprise for me is it's actually in the Markets field. I know, Sean, you might be happy enough with that. It's not a big amount of travel for you, but given the venue and the Markets field, it just doesn't look like, if you're looking to promote the league to other people, you know, when you have a first division final in the Markets field, it just doesn't add up to me. But it was a decision made. I would have thought Longford myself, but decision was made. We're going into this game. I still think Waterford will go up. That's my personal opinion. But Sean, we mentioned privately that the way Galway play might stifle the way Waterford play in terms of attacking. Do you think that's a worry that Waterford will have going into this match?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the two teams that have, beaten us that have figured us out basically are Cork and Shelburne, and they both played the same way. You know, a highly structured defensive approach, one man up front. Really, you know, if you get one goal, even you can sit back for the rest of the game. And we do struggle to break those teams down. The only thing that's going for us really is that we have managed to beat Galway once this season, and we can't say that about Shelburne or Cork, but it will still be a very difficult game. And on the flip side of that, we have beaten Galway. That was the last game we played them in. They might be looking for revenge, so it's tough to say.
Do you think Searle may change tactics a little bit? Will he have watched Galway in the last couple of weeks and almost try and stifle the way they play and maybe match them up in a certain way?
I don't think so. I think his strategy and what he's stuck to time and time again is to play his game and play it better than the other team can play their game. It could work. I mean, if we do get, on the flip side of Galway getting an early goal, if we get an early goal as well, Galway are going to have to come out. And if that happens, when teams try and come out and play football against us, you know, that could really suit us.
Yeah, it would certainly leave gaps at the back, and you certainly have the players that would punish a lot of teams in the league, including the Premier. Gavin, Galway, look, they've done fantastic to get here. Everyone wrote them off against Longford, including us, I think. They're now in the final. They've one game to play before they actually play their cup final, which will be against the Premier Division team to see who goes up. Caulfield will probably stick two fingers up at a lot of people if they do get through this tie.
And like, no better person to come up and say it either. You know, he'll see this as a scalp, you know, and he'll look at it and kind of, that's the way he look at it in his head. It's kind of like, I have everybody against me here, you know, and I love this sort of mental kind of what would you say it, like mental blocker, for want of a better word, that, you know, people are going to go against him and he'll think that everybody's going against him. But I still think that the way form has been, and the funny thing about what Sean said, and he's absolutely spot on, the way I say that, you know, John Caulfield's used to having five in midfield and just breaking teams down and just being horrible to watch against. The difference in this is that I think Waterford are so good going forward, like as Sean said, and it's literally 110% right. If Waterford score early, I think Galway are in trouble because they won't know what to do to come out and try and equalise. I don't think they have it in them. And you see, if Galway or if Waterford, if they got an early, if Waterford were to up at half time, I genuinely, you know, I think the tie is over because Galway won't. They won't. They're not used to that. So they're used to having a structured five in midfield with McCormack sitting in front of the back four and then protecting the four in midfield. So, like, that's, like, I mean, if they're on about draining Waterford and they can keep it in the law for as late as possible and sneak a 1-0, that'll be John Caulfield all day for you. That's typical John Caulfield result. But as Sean alluded to there, I just, you know, if Waterford score early, I think it'll be very hard for Galway to come into this game. I think as well the difference is that no matter what, I think the form is going Waterford's way, you know, in this game. Like, and as you said as well, which I think is a pity, you know, as you said, Longford, or even it's a pity the game isn't in Turner's Cross or something like that, you know, where you'd have, you know, it's a pity what didn't happen in somewhere that you know, with all due respect, I don't think Markets Field is anywhere near as good as, you know, Turner's Cross or Longford Stadium, you know.
Yeah, Mikey Rowe has 3 goals, 2 in the first game against Longford, 1 tonight, or the other night, sorry. He probably has to start the final against Waterford, doesn't he?
I think he'll play, like, I mean, if he's to change things up, John, he'll probably have to play 2 up front with what's his name, Walsh. He'll have to play the 2 of them up there. They'll have to go 4-4-2, you know, because he can't afford to go 4-5-1 in this game. He'll have to go with 2 and just have McCormick and Hurley as the 2 centre midfielders, as opposed to, you know, having the 4-1-4-1 as such. He'll have to go 4-4-2 and try and match Waterford in that sense. And he'll have to play the 2 up front if he wants to have a go off Waterford, because, I mean, I think Sean can agree on this. Sometimes, like, Waterford can be quite susceptible at the back and can be quite dodgy. So, like, I think if he goes with 2 up front, I think they'll have a better chance. But I think if they don't go with 2 up front, I think he's making life difficult for himself.
Sean, we mentioned the attacking talent that Waterford have, but Niall O'Keefe has been a crucial player this season for Waterford. And do you think Galway, all 11 players, need to play well for them to win? Whereas if Waterford could probably carry a player or 2 and still get a result out of this game?
I think so. I mean, it's the benefit of having players like Niall O'Keefe and Junior and Phoenix on your team, that maybe if the team performance as a whole isn't great, that you can rely on individual moments of brilliance. It's still a risky game to play, and in midfield in particular, I think with injuries that we're carrying and suspensions and things like that, we might have to just sacrifice the midfield game in this game, because Galway will, I think, win that battle. I think it may come down to that, Keith. It may come down to Phoenix doing something spectacular, or Junior beating a few men and sticking the ball in the back of the net or something like that.
Sean, you also mentioned Richard Taylor didn't have a great game the other night. Do you think Alex Baptiste starts this game for Waterford?
Yeah, I think resting Baptiste on Saturday was sort of, you know, now look, you know, he had, like Richie Taylor would admit himself, he had a bad game. I don't think anyone anticipated that it was going to be that nervy. It's unfortunate. I think Danny Searle would have liked to have given Baptiste the whole game off, but it's certain that he's going to start on Friday.
Gavin, we've mentioned before about referees and stuff. I think that we need a strong referee on Friday night, because at the end of the day, jobs could be on the line here. Certainly for Galway more than I think for Waterford. You need a strong referee, and unfortunately we didn't get that in the Waterford Treaty game. But if a decision is going to be made on a referee or a dodgy offside, you know, it's no help to either side, is it?
No, Keith, and I suppose, look, the ref is going to have to implement his authority straight away in the game. I suppose, look, from a point of view of the 2 teams, try and leave the game play as much as possible. You know, I mean, if it's going to be a big game, there's going to be challenges put in. Like, you know, you've the likes of Conor McCormick, a fellow who won't back out of anything. So, like, you have the likes of him who's going to, you know, he put his head through a wall for you. So the most important thing is try and leave the game flow. But like, what's going to happen probably too, and you see a lot in big games, unfortunately, is that you have a lot of players and referees' ears, and that drives me mad. You know, for anything, it's like anything, just to get in his ear to try and, you know, get a fella booked or get a fella sent off, and that drives me nuts in every game. I hate that carry on. Like, so hopefully the referee won't pay any attention to that, and, you know, the most important thing is try and leave the game flow as much as he can, and hopefully it'll be a great game.
Sean, do you think Waterford will be concerned with the physicality that Galway offer?
In certain areas, yeah, I think so. This is a game for Wasim. He really caused some problems down at the RC the last time we played him, and we'll be looking for more of the same this time at the back as well. Now, we didn't have Alex Baptiste the last time we played Galway. He'll be a big addition to the squad. So it's really, I suppose, the 2 boys, Junior and Phoenix, might struggle with the physicality, but then on the flip side, you know, they might draw a few fouls as well. So I think so. We're expecting a physical game, and if we do try and play Galway's game I hope we do stick to our own plan, because if we try and play Galway's physical game, I don't think we'll win.
Yeah, Gavin's mentioned the Marcus Field. I've mentioned the Marcus Field. What's your thoughts on the final being there? Does it not necessarily matter where the final is? It's all about what happens on the pitch, or are you disappointed that it's not in a place? I know it's only down the road from you, but you know, there's been finals in Dalymount, there's been finals in Inchicore, and in League of Ireland terms, they're more historic and than the Markets Field. What's your genuine thoughts on the place of the final?
Well, I don't really care, to be honest. Hope, like, if we're all going well, we'll be going to Dublin anyway. You know, playing UCD. It's not. It's you know, convenient enough, I suppose, but it's not a nice drive through Tipperary, really. But the one thing I am disappointed about, that we got allocated the away stand. Some Galway supporters might disagree with that, but I was disappointed with that. I thought, you know, certainly we'd be bringing a huge allocation. Like, we already sold out the supporters bus on Friday. Didn't even know where it was going or who we were playing. So I was disappointed with that. But as far as the Markets Field goes, I don't really have any problems with it.
So you're expecting a big following from Waterford FC fans down to Markets Field, yeah?
I think so. Yeah, we brought a big crowd up Wednesday night, and if that's midweek, so, you know, hopefully we'll get an even bigger crowd for a higher stakes game on a more accessible day.
Yeah, massive game ahead, guys. Gavin, what score do you think it's going to be?
I'm going to go 3-1 Waterford.
Okay, thoughts behind that?
I just think I think Danny Searle is going to get into the lads' heads to score early, and I think it will happen. And I just think, like, from watching Waterford this year, as organised as Galway are, like, attacking wise, they're not a threat. You know, when City played Galway, like when City played Galway and Galway, the player sent off, Galway just sat back. And I know it's easy with 10 men, but they never offered anything going forward as such, really. Whereas when City played Waterford in the cross, I know Richard Taylor got sent off harshly in that game, but Waterford were always a threat, no matter what. They always were going, like, there was always chances where they were always going to try and attack City, no matter what, with 10 men. So I just think from a quality point of view, attacking, I just think Waterford will have too much. And I think if they score in the first 15 minutes, and they can get a second before half time, I think Galway will only get a consolation out of this game. So I wouldn't surprise, like, I don't know. It's a funny sort of a game to tell. Like, I suppose from that point of view, like I said earlier, if Waterford score early, it's going to be 3-1. But if Galway annoy the shit out of Waterford, you know, it could be 1-0 to Galway. It's a tough one. Like, I don't know.
Okay, Sean, what do you think?
Plead the fifth. If I give a prediction, giving a prediction is a bad omen.
Yeah,
Stakes game.
We'll let you sit on the fence. I'm going to go with a Waterford 2-0. I think you're right, Gavin. I think Waterford will score relatively early, and I just can't see, given the way Galway play, that they'll come back into the game, particularly against Waterford. It's all right against Longford. You know, Longford and Waterford on different levels. So yeah, Sean, I wish you the very best of luck. I really do.
Look, Sean.
I hope the trip goes good, and obviously that you'll be playing UCD the following week. Guys, if you're looking to watch this game, LOI TV, it'll be on LOI TV. Pay your $5 or whatever. Fantastic night in store, and let us know what you think, predictions, and we'll come back with a review show and a team of the year in the next couple of days as well. So, guys, hit the bell notification. Thanks very much for coming on.
Can I call up Jorgaff Keats to watch it? I'll be up. I'll drive up.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.